Hi everyone, welcome to the iSpring webinar series where every week we talk about e-learning trends, share iSpring tips and tricks, and cover clients' cases. I'm Nadia, a community manager at iSpring, and I will be the moderator for today's session. And today's webinar is dedicated to how to create a minigame, a series of webinar PowerPoint versus iSpring. And to cover this topic, I have with me today Catherine Tate, an iSpring Genius and Tech Geek.
Hi,
So, hi
Nadia.
Kate, how
I'm
you
great,
doing
thank
today?
you. And how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. And I'm very happy to start our webinar. Let me share my screen. Welcome to the third part of our online masterclasses series, where we put PowerPoint and iSpring to the test. The topic of our today's webinar is how to create a mini game. Games and gamification provide us endless opportunities to make our courses more fun and engaging. During our today's webinar, you will learn two ways of designing a mini-game in PowerPoint and iSpring Suite. PowerPoint and iSpring are both great when it comes to making your content game-based, but it's very important to find the most efficient tool that works the best for you. Today, I'm going to show you step by step how to create two versions of an actual minigame. One is going to be in PowerPoint, and the second one is going to be in our quiz editor, iSpring QuizMaker, that is a part of iSpring Suite. And in the end, we will see which way is easier and faster. And of course, we have a bonus. In the end of the webinar, today I will show you how to add scoring to a minigame to actually track the results of your learners. And before we start, let's look at the end results. This is a game that we are going to create today. The topic of our game is going to be merchandising. We will create a simulator where our learner will have to place an item on the appropriate shelf. To do that, they will have to drag the item to the appropriate shelf and drop it. Here, they will need to do that by clicking on the hotspot on the shelf. Let me demonstrate how it works. So now I click on the wrong hotspot and got the message that it's wrong. Now I can click on it and try one more time. Let's click on the correct hotspot. This time, when I click on the correct hotspot, the button goes to the shelf from the shopping cart. We see the message that we answered correctly, and also the next button appears that allows us to go to the next slide. Okay, so this is going to be a great example of how almost any topic can be redesigned in the form of a game. Let's close this presentation and go to PowerPoint. Our first task will be to create a mini game in the PowerPoint. And please don't worry, you won't have to repeat anything after me, because this webinar is being recorded, so you will have a link to practice at your own pace. Plus, my colleague Nadia will share a link to download a resource folder in the chat, where you can find all the images and also steps on how to create the game that I will use today. Perfect. I will close this and go to my actual project. I will start by adding a blank slide. So I will go here and add a slide. Okay. I already prepared a folder with all the images that I need. So I will just add pictures on my slide. I will go to Insert tab. Next, I will click Pictures and find my folder. So here I have all the images that I need. First, I'm going to create an environment of the game. I prepared a folder with images, as I already mentioned. So now I'm going to add a picture that I need for the background. The first 5 images that we have in the folder, we will not need for any triggers or animations. They are backgrounds, shelf, customer, shopping cart, and a shape. I will select them and click Insert. Now, as I see, I have a mess on my slide. So I'm going to pull all the images into their places. I will start with the background. Let's resize it here. Okay. Next, I will resize my shopping cart. To resize it, you can just hold the shift and move it on the slide. Also, I will move my customer and I need a shelf. Just a moment, let's change the layout to another way. Let's do it like this. Okay. Now we have our shelf here. Okay, perfect. We are almost done, and now we will need to add navigation elements. Because I have more slides in our presentation and I want users to move on when they answer correctly. For it, I go to Insert, Pictures, and I will add bottom panel and next button. Select them and insert on our slide. Let's move them. Let's place bottom bar here and the next button here. It's too big, so I'm going to resize it as well. Okay, I think it's look good. Again, I will go back to my folder and click Insert and add some more pictures. We will need to add some butter, hotspot, correct answer, and wrong answer. These images I will actually use to set up triggers and animations. So let's add them. Okay, now let's add butter to our shopping cart. Let's move our incorrect answer and correct answer. Let's move it like this so it will have more beautiful view. Okay. Now I want also to add something more. So I have my text here that I will use, this whiteboard I will use for the text. I already have a folder with my text that I will insert here. Just a moment. Okay, so I will copy it and place it here. So this is a text of our question. Let's resize it. Okay, I'm going to select the heading and make it bold. All right, we are done and we can move on. The last thing I'm going to add on the slide is transparent layer and dark layer. We will need those to cover the slide behind the feedback message so that users don't click on other hotspots. Make sure not to skip this part when working on your own. I will click Insert, go to Pictures, and select this dark layer and transparent layer. These two are actually images and they have a form of a shape of a slide. And they will just cover the slide and make sure our users don't click where we don't want them to click. Okay, now we have all of the objects on our slide and now we can move on to the next part of our webinar, where we will create triggers for all hotspots on the slide and also animate them. If you haven't tried setting up complicated animations in PowerPoint before, a trigger is an effect that tells an object to do something at a certain time. For example, I will set this message to appear when we click on the hotspot. Okay, now let's work with the list of objects that we have. Let's open it. I will go to Home tab, click Select, and Selection pane. This is a list of objects that we have here. And as you can see, there are a lot of things. When working on triggers, you will need to select particular objects from the list. So before start working, let's give them proper names. If we don't do that, then we will never identify which picture we need to select. I already have names, so I'm going to click on the picture in the list, see which image is highlighted on the slide. Okay, we don't need it, so we can just delete it from our slide. Okay, so the first one that we have here is a background. So I'm going to copy it from my list and insert here. The next one is the shelf. I'm going to copy it here. Next, we have a customer. Next, we have a shopping cart. This is our whiteboard. This is the bottom panel. This is next button. This is our butter. And this is the hotspot 1 image. And as you can see, we have 3 shelves here and only 1 hotspot. That is because we need to copy it. Let's do that together. I will select the layers and move them down because we don't need them at this moment. Okay, like this. Okay, now I'm going to select hotspot 1 and copy it. So it's going to be a hotspot 2 and a hotspot 3. Okay, so now we have 3 hotspot images and we will rename them later. Now let's keep working on our images. So this one was hotspot 1. This is going to be a correct answer. This is wrong answer. This is our text. This is the dark layer. Okay, I know it's a long process, but it will help you a lot. Please believe me, it's impossible to create this game without renaming them. This is our transparent layer. Now we have hotspot 2 and hotspot 3. Okay, looks like we are done. And now we can start working on our triggers. We already have a list of objects. So now let's open the list of animations. I will go to Animations and select Animation pane. Okay, so first I'm going to create a trigger for the correct hotspot. This one. So I already moved my dark layer and transparent layer down. We need to do that because they will cover all of the images and on the slide, and we won't be able to click on them, and we really need to click on them. So first we'll set up correct messages and transparent layer. Okay, let's select a correct answer here. Transparent layer is here. And we also will set up the next button. Okay, let's hold Shift and select everything. And transparent layer. Just a moment. So let's select transparent layer again, correct message, and the next button. Then I will need to add animation. So first I click Add Animation and select Fade Animation from the list. Now let's set up our trigger. So let's click on trigger and on click of hotspot 2 because this is our correct answer. Okay, we also need to make it start with we also need to make our butter go to the correct shelf. For it, let's select our butter, add animation, and select lines. Okay, now I have my animation here, and I will click on this red dot and move our butter on the correct place, like this. Now we will need to add a trigger on these two, so let's click trigger on click of hotspot 2. And we need to make sure that our animation will start with previous. Okay, I think it's done. So we can bring our transparent layer up like this. Okay, and let's preview it and see how it works. Okay, let's go to slideshow and view it. Okay, so if I will click on the correct hotspot, I see that a correct message is appear and my butter is moved to the correct place. But you see that hotspot covers our butter and we don't want this. So we just select butter in the list of our objects and move it up. So it will be above the hotspot too. And let's preview it again. Okay, so I think it looks good. When you click on the correct hotspot, the butter moves to the shelf and we see a correct message. We are almost done. So we also need to make sure that when we click on the wrong hotspot, we will see the wrong message. So let's set it up. Okay, let's select wrong message. Let's move it a little bit here. And we also need this time the dark layer. So it will cover our slide and users will not be able to click on anything else, only on the wrong answer. Okay, and now let's add an animation. Let's go to animation, add animation, entrance fade. And let's set up a trigger. It will be on click of hotspot 1, this one. Okay, perfect. Now we need to do the same for the hotspot 3. Again, we select incorrect answer and transparent layer, dark layer, and click add animation. Please click add animation because if you will select animation from the left, then you will just replace the animation that we have now and we don't need it. We just need to add animation. So let's click add animation and fade. Let's set up a trigger on click of hotspot 3. Okay, so now when users will click on hotspot 1 or hotspot 3, the wrong message will appear. Okay. The next thing we want to make, we need to make sure that our transparent layer is on the slide here. And we also need to make sure that the incorrect message will be above it. So let's find it in the list of objects. We need the wrong answer and put it above our dark layer. And also on our slide, hotspot 2, butter, and hotspot 3, they are all above the dark layer and we don't need it. So let's put it up here. And let's move the wrong answer too. So it will look like this. Okay, it seems for me that everything is working right now. So let's preview it and see how it works. I'm sorry, we also need to add something else. We need to make sure that users can go back to our slide and they will have another attempt. So when we will click on the wrong message, we will have another chance to select a new hotspot. To do it, let's select wrong message and our dark layer and add animation, but this time we are going to add from the exit group and select fade. And let's add trigger on click of wrong answer. Okay, so it looks like this. So let's check how it works. Let's preview our slide and let's click on the incorrect hotspot. Okay, as you can see, we have the incorrect message and now we can click on it again and we have one more attempt. Now we can click on the correct hotspot and we see that everything is correct. Okay. And now we also need to make sure that the next button will appear and it will take us to the next slide. So let's move it here and add a hyperlink to the next button. Let's add a link, place in this document, and we need the second slide. Okay, let's preview it. I will select correct answer immediately. And our next button should appear here. So when we will click it, it will take us to the next slide. Okay, it seems for me that everything is working. And now let's do, and we are going to our second part of the webinar where we will create the same question with an iSpring quiz maker. For it, I will go to Home tab and insert a new slide. Now I will go to iSpring Suite tab, and this is where I can add my quiz. For those of you who are not familiar with iSpring, iSpring Quiz Maker is a part of iSpring Suite. iSpring Suite is a PowerPoint add-in that allows you to enhance your PowerPoint presentation with quizzes, interactions, and dialogue simulations, and then publish to upload to your website or learning management system. To open iSpring Quiz Maker, click Quiz on iSpring Suite ribbon. It allows you to create both graded and survey quizzes. I'm going to create graded quiz today. iSpring Quiz Maker is very easy to use. To add a question, just click Questions here. In iSpring Quiz Maker, there are 14 different question types, such as multiply choice, hotspot, and drag and drop. Drag and drop questions, the one that we will use today. Also, it includes branching, scoring by choice, allows you to create question polls, and even send reports to an email or server. All right, I hope you have a better understanding of what iSpring Quiz Maker is, and let's work on our minigame. As I mentioned, we will need to use drag and drop question. Drag and drop questions allows you to drag elements in the correct position or group items that belong together. This is a perfect question type for our mini game about merchandising. So let me show you how to create it. Let's click on proceed, and now we're in slide view. Okay, now we can create our design. Let's create our environment first. I will add pictures. So first I'm going to add background, card, whiteboard, character, and a shelf. Let's open it. Okay, so it's a mess again, so we will need to resize everything. Our whiteboard. our background. Okay, this is our shopping cart, shelf, and our customer. Okay, like this. Next, I will add a hotspot and duplicate it. Hotspot is going to be a transparent shape. So let's add shape and add it to our shelf. Let's copy it and insert here and here. Now, we will need to change the transparency of these shapes. So let's right click on it, select format shape. We are going to select no line and 99%. We are going to do the same with other two. Please make sure that you don't set up 100% because if you will publish your project to the HTML format, then your shape will disappear, because if it's 100%, it will just not counting as a shape and it will disappear from your slide. Okay, let's move on. So now we also need to add something else. We need to add text for our question. Again, I will copy it from my document. I will click Insert Text Box and insert my text here. Okay, I think I need bigger whiteboard, so let's make it bigger like this. And let's make it bold. Okay, perfect. And we also need to add a butter. So let's go to Insert, Picture, and select our butter. Let's put it in our shopping cart. Okay, everything is done here, so let's switch to form view and set up matching pairs. I will create matching pair. So first I will select drag item. It will be our butter, and then the drop target. So if you will see at the bottom right corner, you will see what rectangle you choose. It will be in the red rectangle. So I need rectangle 2, and let's select rectangle 1. There will be no match and it's correct. And rectangle 3. Okay, it seems perfect for me. So let's preview it. Let's see how it will look like. Okay, first we are going to put it on the incorrect spot. And as you can see, it tells us that it's incorrect. Let's replay it. And this time I will put on the correct place. Okay, this is correct. Perfect. And now it's a bonus part. So I will show you how to add scoring by choice to actually track the results of the learner. Let's do that together. Click Scoring and select by choice and insert the grades here. Okay, then let's click number of attempts. This is a game, so I want users to try until they get the correct answer. So I will select unlimited. And also I will enable resetting objects to their initial state. Okay, let's preview it one more time. First, I'm going to put it at incorrect place. Now you see I can try it again and reset my answer. And now let's select a correct hotspot. Okay, now it's correct. And that's all we need to do. So awesome! Today we learned how to take your courses to the next level and make them even more interesting for learners. I hope that we encourage you to use games and gamification in your courses to present boring things in a fun way. We are done with our mini games. Let's save and return to our course. And now it's a moment of truth. Let's finally decide which way it is easier, PowerPoint or iSpring Quizmaker. And that is you who are going to decide. Nadia, can you please launch a poll? Okay, so now you can vote which is easier,
So
iSpring
yes, the
or
quiz
PowerPoint.
is up and running, and
I
we
see
have
everybody thinks that iSpring Quizmaker is easier,
92%
but
for
I
iSpring
can also
and
say that
just
PowerPoint looks great
8%
too
for
and worth
PowerPoint.
trying. Though drag and drop question is not so time consuming and does not require any effort at all. And now I'm ready to pass the mic to Nadia for our Q&A session. Okay.
Sorry, Kate, I think that I can't hear you. Oh, you just don't say anything. Yeah, just we don't have any questions right now. So yes, guys, if you have any questions, please send them. Actually, during your presentation, we received a question from Cindy, but I think that our colleague Polly from Tech Support Department is already answered for this. And guys, if you don't have any questions and everything is
Yes.
fine for you, that you can send I don't have any question, everything
I'm just waiting
perfect.
for your questions. Please, if
And
you have
while
any
we're waiting for
questions, you
more
can
your
ask them in the
questions,
question
we
box on
received a
the right
question from
side of our
Mahmoud.
webinar panel.
He's asking, can we customize correct and wrong layers?
Yes, sure, you can customize it. It's just pre-made pictures that we created to show you how it works, but it can be anything that you want.
Thank you so
And
much for
if you
covering this
wanted to
question.
change correct
And
and wrong layers in
the next
iSpring
question
Quizmaker,
is from
you can change
Evangelina.
the text
Is it
there.
possible to use any pictures?
Let me show it to you. So I will open my quiz. And here you can see the feedback and branching. So this is where you can customize your correct and wrong
Thank you so
answer
much, Catherine.
messages.
And
You can
the
type
next
anything
question
that you
is
want
from
here.
Asma.
And
Is
if you
this
will open it
available
here,
in the
you
free
can
iSpring suite?
add
I
some
think
pictures,
this
video,
mean
or even add
Quizmaker.
audio to this slide.
Yes, and we have, I think, the same question from Cindy. Is Quizmaker included with the iSprint Free 9?
Yes, sure, it's up to you. You can use any pictures that you want. You can create your own games with your own pictures, so there should be no problems with it.
Yes, and also I share a link to free trial of iSprint Suite Max, so you can just try it right now for 14 days. And thank you so much, Catherine, again.
Yes,
And
in the
there
free
is a
version,
question
you can
from
create a
Michelle.
quiz and
Can you
add
use the quiz
questions
maker
there.
to create an end of course test where you don't get the results until you have completed all the questions?
Yes, it's also included there, so you can try it out. But I will encourage you to use iSpring Suite Max and try iSpring Suite Max trial because it has a lot of new features.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Sophia is curious, is the difference between PowerPoint and iSpring the
Yes, sure.
fact
You
that you can
can
use
add
the
your
grading?
quiz created with Quizmaker at any point in your presentation. You can put it at the end. And if you don't need the quiz results slide, you can just hide it and not show it to your users. Or you can show the slide with the results and customize it. So here you can show scores, you can allow to review quiz, and you can also allow users to retry it.
So thank you for answering this question too, Catherine. And I don't see any questions so far. Yes, thank you very much, everyone, for coming today and spending that valuable hour with us. And I hope you have enjoyed our today's session. Thank you, Catherine, again for this wonderful presentation.
Goodbye, everyone.